Did anybody else think 2025 did not feel right at all? I've been hearing the same thing from a lot of people lately, mostly from my friends and family, and sometimes even people I don't really talk to. But a lot of people say that 2025 was like actually kind of like ass, and it wasn't like a crazy way really, but it was just like not in the way that everything fell apart either. It was just like off. Some stuff happened, and what's strange is it wasn't just one type of person saying it. It was like a lot of different people at different stages of life, like different jobs, and everyone got different goals and stuff too. And some people were like exhausted and unmotivated, and some felt like they were stuck, like they were doing everything they were supposed to do, but they felt as if nothing was really changing, and the motivation and exhaustion would switch between the two. And I know that's what happened with me, and it wasn't that because everything was like bad or anything, and it's just that stuff felt heavy. And honestly, I feel that too. And what makes it more complicated is, for me, is 2025 didn't start bad at all, actually, to be honest. And I do want to talk about, have a little bit of a story for it. So yeah, the first half of 2025 was great. Like the first 6 months, genuinely like great. I made a new best friend around the start of that year, I guess last year, and someone I really clicked with like instantly. And I also did start talking to a girl that I used to be friends with like a really long time ago, and we reconnected like really fast. And before I knew it, right, we were all hanging out all the time, sometimes just me, her, and then her friend too, and then my best friend, and then another dude. And I don't, maybe I should give them names, but I won't give them names right now. And we'd just hang out after school, do nothing special, but you know, it did feel special, and it feels special now, even now. And it felt like I was kind of finally experienced something, and I honestly thought I would never experience that, and I was like super happy, like actually happy. And then, you know, summer comes by really fast. Graduate from junior year, so I guess you could call it that. At the start of the summer, I started dating that girl kind of, and for a while it was like amazing, and I felt connected, motivated, and like life was finally moving, in my way, like. And then mid-July hit, and then that's kind of when all the stuff went pretty bad. And because of the things that she was dealing with, stuff I'm not really wanting to get into, she basically kind of just like ghosted me and disappeared. So yeah, that was something, and that hit me way harder than I thought it would, because it was just so random, and it felt like so not her to me. And I did fall in some type of depression, I guess, for a few months, probably like 3 or 4, and I did end up going to therapy for a while, and it did help, and I did get better over time. So that was like 3 or 4 months ago maybe now. But during those months, something else happened too. I lost almost everyone in that group, all except for the one real friend, the one best friend. And sometimes when you lose a lot of people like that all at once, especially when you're already low, it kind of changes how you see things and people. And because of that, I became more of a bitter person, and I started reading between the lines of everything that people would say, and overanalyzing intentions that people do, because obviously people have intentions with you, but when you overanalyze it, that's when it gets hurtful to your own self. And I would assume that meaning where there probably wasn't any. And it did get to a point where I genuinely started to believe that people only want something from you, and once they get it, they leave. And now in some cases that is like true, but I feel like most of the time it's really not. It's just cope in your brain, basically. At least that's what kind of happened for me. And I do know that's like, it's not fully true, but when you go through loss, like back to back really quickly like that, your mind starts to protect you, of course. So obviously I became guarded, and I would like question things. I got skeptical all the time, and I was more closed off. And then that mindset actually made me like want to work more, like I did more, like videos for this channel actually, and more work at my job, more hours. And it really did push me, and it kept me moving, but it did also make me suffer a little more. Not because of these videos, obviously I love making these videos, but because of the hours that I had at my job, it was kind of hard to balance. Because while I was being productive, I was carrying like a lot of resentment and exhaustion, and a version of myself that I didn't fully trust or know anymore. And I think that's why the second half of 2025, for me at least, was like terrible. Not because everything was bad, just because that second half really did. It kind of did do a number on me, I'm not gonna lie. But because everything that was good disappeared so fast, and that's probably another reason why it was worse. And when I really started to think about it, it also wasn't just me going through some crazy stuff. You know, almost everyone I know that I am close to at least has been dealing with something, you know, heavy or crazy in 2025. One of my best friends, someone I've known for basically my entire life, at the end of 2025, he and his girlfriend actually broke up, and not too long ago. And I don't know all the details, and I don't need to, but I just know it's been really hard for him, and he's been in a really dark place since it happened. And seeing someone, you know, like that, especially you've known forever, your entire life, struggle like that, it does stick with you, and I think about it, and I do always want to be there for him. Then there's my mom. She's been really sad these past couple months, and my grandma is frustrated because she can't be fully independent anymore, and she's getting up there. She's getting to that age, and she doesn't fully understand why or what's happening to her. And my mom's side of the family holds a lot of, I guess, a personality trait, being stubborn, I guess. So obviously that frustration from her and the stubbornness turns into anger over time, and a lot of that anger ends up landing on my mom. And on top of that, there's been a lot of money being spent because my grandma doesn't fully understand things anymore or why, and my mom's just trying to handle all of it by herself, and she's been trying to keep it together and trying to stay patient, trying not to break down and stuff. My other grandma, her mom, so I guess my great grandma mom, passed away like Christmas, I think, which is just terrible. And that's honestly all I really know about it. But even like that alone is like crazy. And my aunt, I was just over there. She lives in another state, so I was just over there with her, with my family and stuff. And she's been under so much stress with her work, and on top of that, her husband, so my uncle, I guess, she's just saying he's been like extremely rude to her, and like we've literally seen that happen firsthand. And they will like argue a lot, I guess. She told us a lot about it, and you could just hear how worn down she is from it because it's been, you know, happening so much. And at some point you just kind of sit there and think, and it's like, Jesus Christ, man, like almost everyone I know has been handed something like completely like unfair and like devastating and annoying this year. And that's when it kind of hit me, maybe that like 2025 didn't feel right, not just because of my problems, but because so many people were quietly or openly carrying things that they never really talked about or asked for help for. And what's crazy is people still show up, they still go to work, still handle their responsibilities, and they still try to keep moving forward. And from the outside, they look just fine, but underneath, a lot of people were worn down and exhausted. So now I've been hearing the same thing, especially on New Year's Eve, over and over again, or on New Year's Day. I just hope the New Year's better. I'll start next year, or you know, I'll lock in after New Year's. And please don't make a New Year's resolution, like please. And you know, I get it, like people say that, and that hope, you know, it feels comforting to you. But the truth is, the years that you spend don't change people, it's the actions that you make in those years. So if you keep doing the same things that you're doing now, and avoiding your fears and putting off your goals, or waiting for the perfect time or some motivation, you know, the calendar flipping doesn't change anything really, except your age, I guess. And yeah, and I'm not saying that to judge anyone, I'm including myself in that. I understand why people do it and when I do it, because waiting is comfortable and it feels safe, and waiting feels like you're doing something without actually like really risking anything. But motivation doesn't show up because it's January. Your goals don't care or know what year it is. They don't care about your New Year's resolutions. They only respond to what you do consistently and the work that you put in. I've seen people talk about, you know, the same dreams for years, their projects, the changes they want to make, and the things that they like swear their life on that they want. And every year the timeline moves forward, but the start date doesn't at all. and they might hit you with the classic, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it soon, when things calm down or when life gets easier, when I get more money. But life doesn't just slow down like that. And waiting for the perfect time is just another way of staying comfortable. And I'm not saying being comfortable every once in a while is not fine, but real growth comes from not being comfortable. And starting doesn't mean you have to change your entire life overnight. Like, you don't have to start waking up at 5 a.m. and read 3 books a week. Like, you don't have to do that or do all this crazy stuff. So you don't have to do that. It doesn't mean you don't have to fix your whole life in a month, and you don't have to become a whole new person. And starting can be small, unimpressive, and quiet, but one uncomfortable decision and an honest step in your life is the one thing that you've been avoiding because it scares you a little. And I promise you, momentum does not just come from January, it comes from movement. And I think 2025 didn't feel right for a lot of people because we were stuck in waiting mode and just not fully knowing what to do, waiting for all of these things, motivation and clarity and ways to make it easier, and just waiting and waiting and waiting. But clarity usually comes after you start, even if it's small. Same with confidence and your energy, and not before, almost never before. You don't need a new year or a perfect plan or ready to begin anything. You just need to start. And the uncomfortable thing about it is today is already won. And because 2025 didn't suck because it was just because it was bad or whatever, that's what people say. Maybe it sucked because a lot of us were tired of waiting, hadn't realized it yet. And one more thing I want to say, do not make a New Year's resolution. Please do not do that. Just start today. And I hope that helps some of you guys out there.